You attract a bunch of brokies with your content because you're treating content in a first order consequence. Whereas I am able to attract 50,000, maybe sometimes even $100,000 per month prospects who book in a call completely inbound with about 2,000 followers on Instagram and about 400 subscribers on YouTube. It is because I'm able to think in second order consequences and make my viewers experience that second order consequence. And in this video, I'm going to show you exactly how to do that and implement the growth ecosystem within your business so that you're able to generate demand at any point of time. You create a sustainable way to acquire attention without needing to spend thousands of dollars on ads or even thousands of dollars on editing your videos, because this process is just so simple that anybody can replicate it. Because you are thinking about content in a first order consequence in which you believe that someone watches your video and if they're interested, they reach out to your book in a call. But the key problem with that is that that is not how the world works, and that is not how anything works. Because if you think about this, if it was this easy, you would have done it, right? If it was this easy, you would have achieved everything that you want to achieve. The reason why you've not achieved those things is because the funnel fundamentally is broken. And if you do not understand how to fix it, you're going to be losing so much attention and so much goddamn money that it will actually just shock you. So I want you to pay attention and stay with me right now. The reason why I've been talking for the past 2 minutes and you're watching this is because you want to have this implemented within your ecosystem. And what I mean by second order consequence is treating content in such a way that it leads to someone doing something which is beyond their current scope. Let me explain what that actually even means. Now imagine you're posting a video, and instead of tracking the basic metrics that everybody tracks, that is views, saves, shares, follows, all of that stuff, you track intent. You track exactly what video resonates with your audience the most. Now, a lot of people don't know how to track this, but I have figured out a way to actually pull this off. So let me explain. By second order consequence, you're essentially focusing on the messaging and the resonance aspect of your content. So imagine you're putting out let's say a Miro video. You're going over an entire funnel breakdown for your B2B offer or whatever you do. Right? Whatever you do, it doesn't matter. You're making a video about it. Now, once you make a video about it, you post that video. And you expect from your mind and from the expectation that has been, created within you from all of the gurus out there, that people will book in a call directly, but that does not happen and you're confused why. It's because of resonance. Because platforms like Instagram and YouTube, reward vanity. They reward vanity over intent. They will reward intent for their own platforms from their perspective, not from your perspective that much. So I want you to think about it like this. If you want to attract $50,000 per month prospects, it is extremely important that you make your video in such a way that it is only resonating with them and no one else. And the way you do that is by creating paradigm shifting content and not value based content. Because we are not in an economy where information is lacking. Everybody has information to things. Nobody lacks information. That is the reality of the situation. Nobody lacks information. What people do lack is certainty. So I want you to think about this. If you had to figure out a way to create a nuclear bomb, could you do it? Do you think you could do it if you were given enough time? Of course you could, right? You could acquire all the knowledge required and then just produce it. The key bottleneck in this is time. That is what we want to leverage, and that is what we want to create differentiation. Because the moment you create value-based content, when you're sitting down and giving value to people directly in like a listicle format, so point number 1, do this. Point number 2, do this. Point number 3, do this. You're attracting brokies because the people who you want to attract are not looking for that information. You are competing with hundreds of people selling the same thing. It is a 99% chance that the people watching this video, apart from you, have something so incredibly rare and in demand that there is no competition. Most likely what you're selling is already being sold by other people. And so when you're trying to compete with them, you cannot compete on information anymore, because guess what? everybody's giving the same information. So the differentiation point then becomes, how do you create leverage and differentiation apart from value? And that is paradigm shifting content, because paradigms is how you change people's lives. I want you to think about this. Let's say you believe, this is your belief system, this is your paradigm about the world. You believe that people who sell in their videos are scammers. Once you believe that, you watch my video, for example, and I'm trying to get you to buy my stuff. You watch my video and you feel like I'm scamming. So you never actually listen to the value I provide. And because you don't listen to the value I provide, you don't get any results and you're still stuck in that scenario. So you can think about this from this lens, that if you change your paradigm, if you change people's paradigm, they can experience a different reality, because if they believe things to be true differently, they will act differently, and because they act differently, they experience different realities. And so if you want your prospects to actually listen to you and create content in a scalable format that creates this leverage and creates this conversion for you, you need to create paradigm shifting content layered with value based content. For example, I've been speaking for 6 minutes right now. You are looking at me differently, and you're here because you actually like what I'm saying, and it's shifting slightly the way you think. Now, what I do with my videos is I layer value within paradigm base, because then value becomes something valuable. If you gave away information without actually showing and giving a reason why people should even listen to it, you will never value it. Unless you actually show them and make them feel a reason to change the way they think, and then provide that change from a value-based mechanism, that's where you create leverage. That is what ties into the growth ecosystem that we can build up. Now, there are only 4 different forms of acquisition that you can have, and these are the only 4 forms you can use to acquire clients. That is cold outreach, ads, content, and reference, right? These are the only 4 mechanisms you can use to get any sort of client. Now, we don't want to run ads, because why? Like, sure, we could, but it's kind of boring, nobody likes to run ads. It's kind of expensive as well, honestly. If we look at the free methods, referrals is one way, and outreach and content is the other way. So why not combine both? I see a lot of people just doing outbound or just doing inbound, or doing both, but doing it in the worst way possible. We use something known as the growth ecosystem. This is what I have pioneered, by the way. Now, the growth ecosystem is an ecosystem which is basically a way for you to bring in people within your nurturing process from outbound and inbound. Now, the typical process of outbound looks like this. You send them a message, send them maybe some free value, maybe they like what you have done, and maybe they book in on a call, and you convince them for 1 hour straight on why they should trust you. Maybe you get some money up front, and that's that. With content, it's like you gotta post for months and months on end, just so you can build up an audience and trust and enough value and enough data to know how to master distribution and conversion. Then maybe you'll get clients. I have pioneered a way to do both of these in a way that the people who are interested from outreach directly book in a call and buy, and the people who are not interested from outreach book in a call and buy 2 to 3 months down the line, without you having to message them ever once again. How does that even work? Now imagine this. We leverage the platform of YouTube to pull this off. Now, we use a simple cold outreach mechanism in which you send them a message, and then you provide enough free value to them, but the free value comes in a video format, not with Loom, but with an unlisted YouTube video. It is very important you do it as an unlisted YouTube video, because once it is an unlisted video, it is obviously more private, more exclusive. But secondly, YouTube still tracks who views your video. So when you post an unlisted video, YouTube is tracking who that viewer is. And guess what? Once you post videos on YouTube, those videos are going to be recommended to that viewer. So essentially, you're creating a scenario in which the high intent leads book in a call directly, and during the process between booking in a call and actually showing up on a call, you send them so many assets that provide free value to them that it completely, builds trust within their mind. The people who are not interested book in a call 2 to 3 months down the line, because your videos are continuously being suggested to them, and because they've seen your face before, they are more likely to listen to you. Because at the end of the day, The point with personal branding or any sort of acquisition is to be remembered. It is to be memorable and not repeatable. If people can repeat what you do, if people can give the same value that you can do, why the fuck would anyone listen to you? Why? No one would. The key point here is to produce value in such a way and like packaging it in such a way that people want to listen to you because of you. That is what is called being memorable. It is not about being, the best in the space. Like, nobody cares about that. If you're repeatable, you are not different. If you're memorable, you will convert. Now, I have created a document which goes over exactly how to do this messaging and all of this stuff. And if you want access to it, by the way, 11 minutes into this video, not a lot of people are going to watch this through. So if you want access to that document on exactly how to create messaging from one of my internal SOPs, just message me on Instagram. Link is in the bio. Message me messaging as a word, and I'll send you the SOP completely for free so you can use it. And if you're interested and want to work with me one-on-one to scale your business, scale your agency or coaching offer, info offer, using this growth ecosystem, you can message me on Instagram as well. I'll see you all in the next one. Take care. Peace.